All right. What if I told you that I believe I know how the human mind works? I know how consciousness works. I know how our self awareness works. I know how we work basically now, thanks to the atoms that I have been observing. So I'm sure there's a general acceptance of the fact that our consciousness, our soul, what makes us self aware, what makes us each different, gives us our life energy basically is energy, right? I'm sure you all agree about that. Of course, we can't really prove it. We can't find it. We don't know where it is. We don't know how to detect it. Blah blah blah. However, I believe that there may be a way. First, we must measure the total energy in each and every atom correctly, because right now we don't have correct energy readings on any of it. We don't have the equipment small enough, finite enough to be able to actually test it. I only just now have discovered how we can observe atoms, so we will likely be able to come up with a way to count them and measure the number of atoms in a substance or in a piece of material, and then be able to measure the energy of that piece of material and divide it by each other and or divide the energy by the number of atoms in it, and then you'll get the energy per atom. Um, so once we determine the energy per atom, we'd have to determine at least once the total atoms and and identify the atoms that make up a human being. Okay. Then you once you have the total number of atoms and have identified them, you get the energy levels for each type of those atoms, and then you get the total. So you got X amount of these atoms equal is this energy. So you multiply the number of atoms times that energy, and you do that for every type of atom, and then you add up those totals, and that total energy would be the energy contained in the atoms that make up our body, the structure, brain, all of it. Okay. Now, I hypothesize that when you did this, you would find that what energy should be in a human body is different from what is actually in the human body. You'll find that people actually contain more energy than the sum of their atoms should total. Why would this be? This would be because the soul, the human consciousness, the personality, the thing that gives the body life is energy. And that is, I'm 100% sure of this. I haven't proven it yet, but I do have a way to prove it. I just got to figure out how to do the experiment I'm describing them now. Um, Now, why do I say this is highly likely? I mean, you all agree that the soul has to have some sort of energy. Everything is energy. It has to have energy, right? Energy doesn't exist. I mean, nothing exists that isn't energy. Energy is movement. I mean, everything. So, of course, our consciousness, human species consciousness, is going to be energy as well. But it's energy without mass, much like the photons. And just like photons do, where photons enter an atom, react with that atom, and cause that atom to emit light, the human soul inhabits atoms and causes those atoms to emit life. What gives us our ability to move, it's everything. Now, you can have a body without a soul and a soul without a body. We see this sometimes where people have either like died for a couple minutes, they were resuscitated, but they never came back. I'm sure I don't know if any of you guys have watched, but there are tons of like shadow people videos on YouTube. And I get that, there are probably some that are fake. I agree that, they're probably not all real, I'm sure. Some look obviously fake. But there are others where you really question what the fuck was that? I mean, do yourself a favor, do the research. To me, video documentation is right next to seeing it myself, man. I get that some stuff can be CGI'd and shit, but there's usually a way, unless you completely CGI the entire scene, to determine if it's been CGI'd. And even then, you're going to see differences in like the people who are reacting to whatever's going on. They won't be quite in the right spot. And let's face it, the people that they posting these videos, they aren't like that kind of professional. These are just everyday people posting their everyday shit. Um, and if you do your research, and there's a lot of places that collect these videos for, they have them already grouped together for you. So check it out. Do yourself a favor. Those are souls without bodies. Anytime, like other videos where they'll show cupboards moving and drawers coming out, inanimate objects moving, that is a soul that's occupying the atoms of that object. So for whatever reason, the soul can't find a human to occupy. I don't know the rules of being a soul without a body. Maybe there are rules. Maybe you can only be. Maybe you have to be within some kind of energy field. If you can't get out of that particular energy field, maybe you dissipate. I don't know what the rules are for that particular thing. But everything's energy, so you should be able to inhabit the atmosphere, the air, and travel wherever you need to go. But like I said, I can't ever remember being a soul without a body, so I couldn't speak for sure on that. All I can say is from what I have seen and my interpretations of what I have seen. I try to always find reasonable, explainable explanations, explainable ways to understand what I'm seeing.